They say the best part of waking up. And in Los Santos, that still holds true. With 37 coffee shops scattered around the city, one thing's clear: Los Santos runs on caffeine. The only question left is, who makes the best coffee in GTA 5? Well, first I think it's important that we talk about the worst coffee shop, which is located across the street from the Mission Row police station, and it's the Mission Row Ground and Pound Cafe. The main reason that this coffee shop receives last place is because it has a lot of competition in the area and very little parking, with absolutely no outdoor seating. But it does feature a small amount of garbage and junk on the sidewalk, if you want to count that as a good thing. Similar to that coffee shop, the IAA Cheap Shot Coffee is located next to a government building. Cheap Shot Coffee is one of the smaller, lesser used coffee shops around the map, and is the only location this company has. With that being said, it does have a fair amount of competition with the IAA Ground and Pound Cafe, right across the corridor. Both of these coffee shops have a decent amount of outdoor seating, but still lack parking and general enjoyability when it comes to their experience. Heading all the way back to Legion Square, we have our first Bean Machine location. Located just east of Legion Square, this is one of the smallest Bean Machine branches in Los Santos, and it doesn't feature any outdoor seating, which makes it less desirable to get coffee in the morning, especially given its high amount of competition around the block. However, Legion Square isn't the only place with high amounts of competition, as the Cafe Redemption up in Morningwood is one of 3 coffee shops on this block, and although its outer design is better than some, it still lacks any outdoor seating or parking, making it a difficult location to visit unless you live or work nearby. Now, every time I do a ranking video, I get the same questions or comments, so I thought I'd clear up some information right away. For this video, I wanted to focus on coffee shops or cafes that primarily focus on coffee. I also ranked them based on their branding, seating, parking, enjoyability, size, location, and nearby competition, which felt like a fair amount of metrics to properly score them. As for Marlin's Cafe, it's specified on the GTA Wiki that one of their main focuses is coffee, hence why it's being included on this list in 32nd place. Though it is where I drew the line for coffee shops versus cafes. Located right around the corner is Crucial Fix, a Jamaican roast coffee shop that only has a few locations around the city. This location is very close to its competition with the cafe, but it's tucked in a little bit, giving it a more quiet and enjoyable scene compared to the outdoor seating of Marlin's Cafe. Hit and Run is a one-of-a-kind coffee shop just west of downtown. This coffee shop is a little less known, but does feature a nice seating area with 4 tables and some umbrellas for shade, while still being tucked away behind some greenery, making it a more peaceful place to drink your coffee within the city. Heading back to Legion Square, we have the first Cool Beans location, which is right around the corner from the last Bean Machine location we mentioned. Now, although they also have a dirtier storefront, the overall branding and location facing the park make it a bit more desirable for many residents. Stopping by our next Bean Machine location, we travel diagonally across the square. The West Legion Square Bean Machine is a stylish coffee shop located next to a bookstore, which is a good combo to have. The nice thing about this location is that there's plenty of parking around the rear of the building, making it our first coffee shop to have a parking lot in its vicinity. For 27th place, we head back up to Morningwood to the Ground and Pound Cafe, just down the street from Cafe Redemption. Being located on a quieter street makes its 8 outdoor seats more enjoyable to relax at, although if you happen to drive into this location, you're still going to have a hard time finding parking. One of the smallest coffee shops in the game is Konggige, which means bean machine in Korean. This tiny coffee shop is located in Little Seoul, and is one of only 2 coffee shops in the game whose signage is in a completely different language. Our last coffee shop on the edge of Legion Square is the Crucial Fix branch, just to the north. This is the largest Crucial Fix establishment in the city, with plenty of outdoor seating, although with the busy roadways nearby, it's not the most desirable place to sit outside. Just a little farther northeast, there's a Bean Machine location tucked away in Textile City in Simmet Alley. Now, despite being crammed in this narrow alleyway, the location still manages to have 9 seats, and although you don't have to listen to nearby vehicles, there's always plenty of foot traffic and commotion in the alley. However, this isn't the only Bean Machine location with a lot of foot traffic nearby, as there's a branch on Prosperity Promenade. Now, although this appears to be a place with plenty of seating, there's actually only a few benches nearby that aren't owned by the coffee shop. Now, I'm not sure why this interior is completely empty, but its overall design is quite unique. Just 1 block down the road is another Bean Machine location, but this time it's not in the center of the promenade. Instead, this small coffee shop is located in the Spine Bookshop, similar to how Starbucks are typically located within Chapters or Indigo. For 22nd place, we head back to Morningwood one final time, with the well-designed and decorated Morningwood Bean Machine, taking the title as the best coffee in Morningwood. The hardest part about this location is the amount of competition, as the Ground and Pound is right across the street. However, the Bean Machine is a little closer to the parking garage down the alleyway, making it a little bit more desirable for people who don't live or work in the area. Continuing with another Bean Machine location, we head to Del Perro Plaza, which has a lot of fast food options, but only one coffee shop, which keeps its competition low and its parking quite high. This is also a desirable coffee shop for anyone living in the apartment building nearby. In East Vinewood, we have El Café Rojo de Medella. Similar to the Bean Machine in Little Seoul, this location is not geared towards English-speaking clientele, though the vibes and overall community in the square keeps it a very inviting place for all. Now for both of those locations, I apologize for my horrible pronunciation. I've never learned Korean, and I took Spanish for many years and didn't pick up on any of it. Now despite the fact we've already visited a Little Seoul location, there's actually 2 more Bean Machines in the community, though these properties are not primarily written in Korean. On top of that, the northern location scored 18th place, and is one of the largest locations we've seen so far, with a parking garage directly behind it, making it ideal for many customers. Located downtown, just a little ways from Legion Square, is another ground and pound cafe. This location has a cleaner exterior and benefits from being closer to the office buildings in the downtown core. It even features a large parking lot around the back of the building. Now, it's been a while since we visited a Cafe Redemption, but there's another one in Rockford Hills. This franchise features very little competition in the area and has 2 separate seating areas, one along the street and the other around back in the alleyway for those who want a more peaceful place to sip their coffee. Just a few blocks west, there's another Bean Machine coffee house located at the base of the International Online Unlimited building. The main reason this location beat out the larger Cafe Redemption nearby is simply because of the fact that it's right next to the movie district, as well as 2 of the GTA Online apartments we can own. In the heart of downtown is the largest and last Cafe Redemption location in Los Santos, and despite its larger size and proximity to various office buildings and parking features, there's no outdoor seating, which is odd considering it has umbrellas for shade. Perhaps their chairs are just inside because they're closed, or perhaps Rockstar just forgot. Now, out of the 37 coffee shops in the city, only 5 are standalone companies, while the rest are larger franchises. There are 3 Cafe Redemptions, 3 Crucial Fix locations, 4 Cool Beans branches, and 4 ground and pound storefronts. This means that nearly half the coffee shops are owned and operated by the Bean Machine Coffee Co., so it makes sense that our next 3 locations are all from this brand. The Bean Machine, located in Vespucci, has a classic coffee shop with a small parking lot out front, located next to a liquor store and the barber shop. This might not see a lot of daily workers coming by, but it's probably the go-to shop for any locals who live in the nearby area. The Bean Machine in the south parts of the Little Seoul district has both English and Korean signage, and I believe it's the only coffee shop that can be found on the second story of its respective building, though this does mean it's very limited for outdoor seating. The Bean Machine located downtown is at the base of the largest parking garage in the city, which makes it ideal for those driving commuters, though it's not super close to many of the office buildings, meaning it probably gets beaten out by its nearby competition. As I mentioned, there's 5 standalone coffee shops in the game, and the best of them is the Little Teapot Tea and Coffee House. This location has an abundance of outdoor seating, and a small parking area next to the building. According to their signage, they have the finest organic and free-range teas that have been exploited from third world countries, which is an interesting way to advertise that you have exotic teas. Regardless, this was good enough to get it into the top 10. One thing I'll give all of the Cool Beans locations is that their storefronts are very hipster and very extravagant. With 75% of their locations making it the top 10, they're definitely a company to be reckoned with. Located in Vespucci, this location has minimal parking out back, with plenty of seating and shade outside, while still having a very decorative storefront. However, when it comes to local competition, there's still a few coffee shops nearby. The Eclipse Tower Bean Machine was a difficult one to score, and although I somewhat regret giving it 8th place, that's where it scored with the system I put in place. Despite it being small, it does have ample outdoor seating, and although it's not accessible within the game, there is a parking garage just underneath for the building up above. However, it still struggled when it came to competition due to the Bean Machine right across the intersection, which we'll touch on later. Crucial Fix Vinewood is a great location, and again, although it appears to have plenty of public parking with the parking garage on the roof, this is also inaccessible via car, making it utterly useless for us as players. That being said, there's still ample seating, and despite being on a busy street, it's still a fairly enjoyable place to sit down. In 6th place, we have the Cool Beans location in Del Perro, which is a very large and inviting coffee shop in the high foot traffic area of Del Perro. With that being said, there's still no umbrellas for shade and limited parking, and on top of that, it has a fair amount of competition nearby. Getting back on that Bean Machine grind, we head to the Del Perro Pier, which only has 1 coffee shop. And despite this location being quite small, it probably has some of the best views on this list, as well as a very high amount of foot traffic. And since they hold a monopoly for coffee on the pier, they're very popular. In fourth place, we have the best and last Cool Beans location located in Mirror Park. I find it interesting that this is the only coffee shop in such a hipster-centric community. With that being said, it is very large and popular amongst the locals in the area, even doubling as a street dealer location in online. Which means that the top 3 locations are held by Bean Machine Coffee, with third place going to their San Andreas Avenue location. Located at the base of a larger office building, this is one of the largest Bean Machine locations, and therefore it has plenty of outdoor seating. However, many of its patrons tend to take their coffee across the street to the Green Park or Skate Park as it sees less traffic and could be more enjoyable. Just south of the city, at the base of Alta Tower, which is an apartment building we can purchase in online, is our second place winner. This Bean Machine location has plenty of seating and even more parking, with a desirable location near transit and commute routes. With that being said, there's not a lot of scenery to look at, as this truly is in the center of the concrete jungle, meaning that the best coffee in Los Santos belongs to Eclipse Boulevard Bean Machine Coffee House. This is definitely one of the largest coffee shops in the game, with ample outdoor seating, heaters for during cool weather, and umbrellas during the heat waves, and on top of that, this location sees ample traffic and great parking options behind the building. So where do you see your character getting their next cup of joe, and what do you think I should rank next?